Like out of nowhere, Nintendo went and came out with a new trailer for a new Paper Mario game. It is to say that no one was expecting this. There were no rumors about this at all. Nothing about this. And just like that, we're getting a new Paper Mario game. And in July. You think it would come out later this year or next year, but no. It's coming out this summer. But I'll go and get until when it's coming out a little bit later. So, the Paper Mario franchise is one of my favorite franchises when it comes to video games. I've been a fan of it since 2001 when it first came out. In fact, I remember when I first got it, I was at Toys R Us. RIP Toys R Us. And I just became a huge fan of it after that. And I've gotten every game. There have been ups, there have been downs, and it's just been a mostly, at least, fun ride. And I'm going to go and give my thoughts on what this new game is going to be about. But first, I'll go over what I think of the other games. Here you go, the first Paper Mario game. So, yeah, the first Paper Mario game, like I said, it's pretty good, and here it is. And unfortunately, I don't have the box anymore, or the manual, and back then, we didn't know they were going to become valuable. We just threw the boxes away, and then we would lay the manual somewhere, and then it would get torn over time, then we would throw that away. We didn't know they would become that valuable, but then again, if everyone kept it, then they would be valuable, so. It's the first Paper Mario, so it's gonna have a few problems here and there, but it's still a very, very fun game. I remember when I first got it, my best friend and I, we played it through on and on and on and on again, and we liked it so much that we actually made all these cutouts, and we would put blankets all over the room and then have fun with that. In fact, I still have the stupid things. I'll show you, and let me get all these stupid things out. What are these? What are these? Look at this guy's face. Alright, so these are the original cutouts that my friend and I used to play with. This was from a Nintendo guide or a Paper Mario guide or whatever. And we would go and play around with things like this. Or this. And it was fun. We had a lot of fun doing this. And I have no idea why I kept it all over these years, but we did have a lot of fun with it. And as you can see, they had some better days. This guy's freaking foot is coming off. And look, he's all sad about it. It hurts. So, the first Paper Mario game, there's just so much I love about it. The characters, the plots, the humor is one of the best things. It really wasn't at that point yet where it had a bunch of paper jokes, but just relied on a bunch of other kinds of humor. One funny thing is that I remember when they're in the desert, Goombara is just going and complaining and complaining and complaining. It's pretty funny, and there's just so much to do in the game. When you think you're done, you're not done. You find out you have another side quest or some other thing to do. It's just, you're always going to go and put a bunch of hours into the game. I think in my file, or I think it is, I put in about 80 hours or so far, so maybe more, but it's definitely a fun game and one of my favorites. And the 1,000-Year Door. This is actually one of my newer ones since I actually didn't have a GameCube growing up. My brothers and I decided to get a PS2 instead, and we were actually all divided, I think. I wanted the GameCube, my older brother wanted an Xbox, and my younger brother wanted the PS2. And since my younger brother always got what he wanted, we got the PS2. Though I guess we can't complain because in the end that was probably the best choice. It definitely had the best games, but the GameCube still had some really good games, and this is one of them. And here's the manual, and you know what I miss? Manuals. Look at this. Really, look at this. It's all colorful and neat looking. I miss these sort of things. You don't get anything like this anymore. Instead, you get those online manuals or digital manuals, and they don't look neat. I mean, maybe they put a little color in it, but God, they're not like this. And I know it helps the environment and it saves the companies money and all that, but I still miss them. They were so much better, and I wish they would still do it once in a while. This is like the Toy Story 2 of video game sequels for the Paper Mario series. Just like Toy Story 2 was often seen as the better sequel, this too is often seen as the better one. They upgraded everything in it. The combat, the characters, everything. It's like they went and just took some gold, rubbed some dirt off it, and then made it better. It was just a really good game, and I'm trying to remember what my Yoshi's name was. I mean, I'm trying to remember it. I haven't popped the game in a few years, and I think it was Nova. I think so. And I think he was a blue Yoshi. And I know a lot of people always like to go and name their Yoshi creative names, so I just went and named mine Nova. I don't know why, but it just sounded neat to me. And I always felt pretty bad for Vivian. Her sisters always going and taunting her and calling her names, and I felt really bad for her, and I was really happy when she joined my team. And it also features one of my favorite boss villains, the Dark Queen, or whatever her name is. She's very imitating. And some of the music in the game is just wonderful. Like with the first game, I always find myself going on YouTube and listening to the music. Yeah! It is definitely one of those games where you think that they can't really top the original, but they go and actually do. We get to Super Paper Mario. When this game came out, it got a lackluster reception. It was a lot different than the first two Paper Mario games. The biggest issue, it doesn't have the regular battle system that it usually has. Instead, it's just like a regular Mario game where you go and jump on an enemy and they die. It doesn't have a turn-based battle. And some people were going to say, well, that saves time, but the point of an RPG is pretty much the turn-based battles. That's one of the biggest things in them. Gaining experience. And while you do technically gain experience in this game, it's just not the same. And you also don't have partners. Kinda. You do have the pixels in there, but let's be honest, they don't have any personality. Other than Tippy or whatever her name is, none of them have any personality at all, and they have about one power, so it's pretty much like, my name's Boomer, I blow things up! That's pretty much what they are like. They were just so boring. They have about one introduction, and that's it. Then they don't talk throughout the whole game. And if they do talk, it's some kind of program thing where no matter which one is out, they'll say the exact same thing. You remember how in the first two Paper Mario games, the dialogue for the partners who were talking back would depend on which one they was out? Nope. I think in this game it was different. But I would be lying if I didn't say I've warmed up to this game over the years. It's definitely grown on me. For one, the music. Like the other Paper Mario games, it does have some really good music. It has the flop side theme or flip side. It has a lot of good boss music. And it has the underworld theme that. And it also has that one theme where you're in that world of nothing, where it's just like. So it does have some really good music for one. Two, a great story. If not the best story in a Paper Mario game. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the ending, I teared up a little. It did get me. And there have only been a few video games that have made me cry. This one is one of them. Great story. And it also has probably the best Mario villain ever. In the whole, all of Mario. I'm not going to go and spoil it, even though this game's 13 years old, so you probably know who it is, but it's definitely a lot better than Bowser or some other generic villain they always go and make up. I just love how just elucidative he is. He's a great villain. But, yeah, it kind of shows why innovation can sometimes be a good thing. For Super Paper Mario, it worked and didn't work, but I say for the most part, it worked. It's a good game, and if you haven't gotten it, I say definitely get it. So, is Stick Star a bad game? Well, I don't hate it, I guess, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. This game was such a huge letdown. We waited 5 years for a Paper Mario game. 5 years, which for the Paper Mario franchise is quite long, actually. And this is what we got. It's really quite unbelievable. I can't believe that they would go and show something like this. And I mean, the gameplay. So, the gameplay is probably the biggest thing about it that I hate. So, they do bring back the turn-based battles. That's good. But, they ruin it. So, throughout the game, you're supposed to go and collect stickers, which are the things you battle with. And you're supposed to go and collect them and hurt enemies and whatever else, but that's the only thing that you can't battle with. There's nothing else. If you go into battle without a sticker, you're done for. You have no choice but to go and run away or let yourself get killed. That is bullcrap. That should never be in an RPG. Even every RPG should have at least a basic thing you can go and defend yourself with. Whether it's just a basic jump or a basic sword, you have to have at least one way to defend yourself. And this game doesn't have it. And the boss battles. For the boss battles, you often need the special sticker to go and defeat them. If you don't have the special sticker, there's nothing you can do except let yourself die. But if you do have the special sticker, it takes away about 70% of their health, and then it's not even worth it. It's just like a slightly more powerful enemy. And I mean, the game's also just very lonely world. There's one town in the whole game, and it's filled with generic toads. Other than that, I think there's maybe about 2 houses scattered throughout. You just feel so lonely because all that's with you is Kirsty. And she's okay, I didn't hate her, but this game could have been a lot better. When it was shown at E3 about 2 years earlier, it was a lot different. It looks like a regular Paper Mario game. It looked like you had this Chain Chomp partner with you, and it just looked so much better. Then Miyamoto, I heard he got involved and changed it to this, and God. It just wasn't that great a game. Is it the worst Paper Mario game ever? Yes. Is it a bad game? I say it's the kind of game you can go and take on a road trip with you. If you're going to be on a long car trip, a long one, I'd say it's at least worth it. It can get you through it. It's not going to be too terribly bad, but at least it will get you through the car trip. But that's really all I can say about it. Okay, then we have Color Splash. This game is the newest one out in the series until the new one comes out. And it was an upgrade. Yeah, it was better. A little bit better. So they did upgrade on the battle system a little bit. And Sticker Star, all you really got were coins, which were pointless because the stickers were everywhere. In this game, it does go and at least improve your paint thing. So there's at least some rhythm to it. And the humor is a little bit better. I do like the little hooey guy. He did get a few chuckles out of me. And even some of the generic toads go and say some funny things once in a while. The plot, it's Bowser trying to go and take over. It's not as bad as Sticker Star, but still not that great. So, it's definitely not too bad, but it is still a step up from what Sticker Star was, but they could have done a lot better. What I will say though is that the game is beautiful. It's a very, very nice looking game. If they were to go and stick with the artwork from this, with the sticker characters and the cardboard world, I would be okay with that. And if they went and combined that with the gameplay of the first two Paper Mario games, we might get the perfect Paper Mario game. I would love it to see if they went and remade the first two Paper Mario games with that art style. So, now we have the new one, Origami King. And from what we've seen in the trailers, well, it's probably too still early to say anything, it does look like they are going back for the most part. It doesn't look like all the way, not quite yet, but it does look like they're getting there. So it definitely does look like we don't have Bowser as a villain. It looks like we're going to have partners. Because it looks like Bowser's going to be a partner. Maybe this Bomb-Bomb, I'm not too sure, but he's a generic looking Bomb-Bomb, but he was seen in a couple scenes. Then there was this Toad that was seen. But then you also have a lot of scenes where Mario was just walking alone, so that is worrying me a little, but still, it doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as the other two games. Then the battle system. It does look like it's going to be back to normal. Maybe. Because when at one scene when he was battling, it said Super Boot or something like that. So it could have been a sticker or a card or something like that, but it could be back at the original format. So, the plot, I think, is somehow everyone's all origami now. Peach is origami, Bowser's origami, and I don't think they really explained how it happened, but it started with Peach going and talking about, are you really going to sacrifice yourself? And then they say no, and then Mario goes and falls down a trapdoor. So we don't know too much yet, but we will in a couple months. So I wonder why they're going and talking about this game all of a sudden. And I'm guessing this game maybe was going to be announced at E3, but since there isn't going to be an E3 now, but because of everything that's happened, maybe they finished the game earlier than they thought they were originally going to and decided to release it this summer because everyone's still trapped in their house. Hopefully we'll be out there by then, hopefully, but so, just to go and have a Paper Mario game during this time, it does go and cheer everyone up. It's good to have a smile on Paper Mario fans' faces again. Maybe everyone else doesn't, but at least we do. So, those are my thoughts on all of the Paper Mario games. Really good series. If you haven't played it yet, any of the games, you're doing yourself a disfavor. But if you are to stay away from one of them, Sticker Star, don't touch that one. If you're going to go and play one of them first, it would probably be the first Paper Mario game, but you can probably go and start with any because they don't really have a continuous plot. It's not recommended that you have to go and play this game first. No, it's pretty much always a different plot, and any of the other characters are never mentioned, so you can start anywhere. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the new Paper Mario game. Can't wait for it. Maybe I'll try to go and give a review when it comes out this summer, so look forward to that. Maybe. Have a good day.